You know, right to the podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in entertainment, reality TV, wrestling, sports entrepreneurship, and so much more. Nick Durst here, along with Joe Calabrese and Joe. I think it's fair to say our guest came to play here on this episode.
Hell yeah, he did. We ended up meeting him a couple of months ago as of this episode recording. He was super cool in person. Got some merch out of it.
Got some
Love
merch.
He
love
squeezed you for
wearing
some merch.
love wearing and repping the shirt. Unfortunately my camera's a little, where you can't get the whole shirt in. But we had a blast meeting him in person. We're very happy to have him on. He is a reality TV show legend. For everybody who's listening and watching, you will know him from Survivor. He's been on other reality shows like House of Villains as well. Professional wrestler, longtime professional wrestler. We'll get into that. He's also the host of the Reality After Show podcast. Very happy to have him on. Nick kind of spoiled it a little bit. So for anyone who wasn't paying attention, we give a really great warm introduction to Jonny Fairplay. Jonny, first off, welcome to the show. Thanks for doing this. How are you?
I'm good. Speaking of shirts, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona for the Survivor premiere next week, Survivor season 50. Sugar will be joining me, so I have my First Boot Legends t-shirt. First time that's ever been available. Pretty excited about that. And then every viewing party after that is me and Richard Hatch. And since we were not on season 50, we are robbed icons. So,
Love that.
I,
so go to
I think
go
it's
to
certainly surprising that you and Richard aren't on the show. I think you guys have bonded a lot more recently, thanks to you both having been on House of Villains. But maybe do you think they think you're too controversial now? Obviously, Richard had some
No,
problems now. They just don't want you guys on. You're not clean cut enough.
no. So, by the way, me and Richard Hatch, we're touring. Go to survivortix.com. That's survivortix.com. We got starting March 4th. I think we're Newport, Rhode Island, and then Indianapolis and Cincinnati and everywhere. No, I think the issue. This is just purely speculation. I think that they did the new era. The new era is done. 50 is a reason to bring back people, but I don't think the train stops there. I think they're going to keep bringing people back. And why shoot your wad on 50 when if you want to do a Heroes Villains 2, you need me and Richard Hatch. If you want to do a First Boot season, if you want to do so you gotta leave some weaponry, some bullets in the gun,
That's all right. Okay, fair enough. We'll talk some more Survivor later on. So, Johnny, you're from Los Angeles originally. What was it like living
Well,
there?
I'm originally from Danville, Virginia. I just happened to
Oh.
live in Los Angeles for 8 years.
All
So
right. So, talk to us the differences between Virginia, LA, and now where you reside in Florida, other than the fact that you don't have to pay as many taxes in Florida.
I
Talk.
don't live in Florida.
You don't? Wow. I thought you had a place down near Orlando.
No, I'm the Boca Raton Cruiserweight champion of the world, and when I'm in Boca, I stay in some really fancy digs that But no. I'm on the Virginia North Carolina border.
Ah.
I like to just hide here, so no, I'm pretty much somewhere every week other than my
Right.
home.
Always on the move. He's got to
Yeah.
make his money, Joe. He's got to sell those shirts.
I got to sell those
Absolutely.
T-shirts, brother. I
And
mean,
they're nice shirts.
they are very nice. These are a little nicer than I purposely made the Rupert versus Fairplay shirt to be the worst shirt I've ever made. But that's what I find endearing about it. So no, my new shirts are they're the soft American Apparel style deal or whatever. So but no, I purposely went with a thick, like it would it's just as useful to dry your car as it is to wear. I went with the gaudy graphics. I do just fun. I do stuff that entertains me.
Would you say you've always been a natural performer?
Yeah, yeah. When I was a little kid, people asked me what I was going to do when I grew up, and I said I'm going to be famous. That was it. So I didn't specify actor, comedian, wrestler. I'm sure I wanted to do all those things, and I feel like I kind of have. But yeah, I just wanted to be famous. So check.
That ended up happening, but your background is interesting. You worked as an art consultant, you did sales, radio advertising, and phone sales. So let's not bore everybody we know with what those jobs entail, but what did those jobs teach you specifically about persuasion and selling that ended up later helping like boost your career when it came to reality television specifically?
I mean, just the marketing aspect of it. So because like I was doing corporate phone sales for Nextel and then radio ad sales, and you have to market the product that you're selling, but you also have to market yourself to which someone wants to buy from you. They want to buy your wares. So yeah, so no, it all kind of led to something. I was Roddy Piper's personal assistant
Wow.
before I
Yes.
was on Survivor, and working with Roddy, I think kind of helped mold me into the performer that I am. So like I would go to Roddy was taking acting classes in Los Angeles, and he didn't like most of the people in the class, so I would have to run lines with him, after every class. So
Yeah. That's pretty cool. How'd you get synced up with Roddy originally?
we had a mutual friend. I had lived in Portland, Oregon for a year, and then I moved to Los Angeles. And his assistant lived in Portland and didn't want to move to Los Angeles. And it was just like, hey, there's a gig if you want it, and I was like, hell yeah. So
Perfect. Well, that worked out great for you. So early on, and you're doing this stuff with him, you're doing the jobs. Who would have thought Nextel would go under? I mean, they were huge back then. They had the NASCAR series, but s- all of a sudden, reality TV is booming, right? Early 2000s,
sure.
Real World, and then American Idol, and Big Brother, and Survivor. So, were you a fan of any of these shows? And
It's the real world.
just
So I was living in LA. My buddy called me and invited me to a Von Dutch party, and it was like, I don't know, 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was sitting poolside. I was on like my fifth or sixth Coors Light, and he was like, "Hey, let's go to this Von Dutch party." I'm like, "I ain't driving anywhere, brother. I'm about 5 Coors Lights in." And he was like, "Oh, you know that girl I'm talking to? She lives down the street from you. I'll see if she can pick you up." So she picked me up. We're on our way to get him. We stop in Santa Monica. She's pumping gas like a woman should. I go to the corner to have a cigarette, and this white Volvo locks up the brakes. I'm kidding about the pumping gas like a woman should. It's a joke, guys. Relax. This white Volvo locks up the brakes. She goes, "You mind if I ask you a crazy question?" I'm like, "You're hot. Why not?" She goes, "You ever watch Survivor?" I go, "No, they're a bunch of fucking losers." She goes, "I'm the casting director." I go, "That sucks for you." She goes, "I'm offering you a 1 in 16 chance at $1 million." I'm like, "Whatever." She goes, "I think you'd be perfect." I go, "Tell me something I don't know, honey." And she's like, "That's it. You're on." So they were looking for a surfer guy. And so they saw my hair, and so they thought I was a surfer. And then what they got was so much more spectacular than what they ever envisioned casting. So yeah, so this was like literally like 2 weeks before finals for that season. And so I go on eBay. I ordered every episode off of every VHS episode, every early show interview in which they explained why they felt they were voted out. And so I'm learning the show through that. I go down to Catalina, become skin diver certified. So I'm learning how to use the Hawaiian sling, and uh, the casting producer. She's just like, what do you think of the show? And I'm just like, I think it's kind of boring. Like, I like the real world. I am a bigger fan of hot tubs and three ways. Just personally. And I haven't seen any of that on your show yet. So and then she was like, "Have you got to Boston Rob yet?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "Let me know when you get to Boston Rob." So anyway, so I finally get to Boston Rob. She's like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "He didn't even make the fucking merge. Like, this dude sucks." So they're like, "Well, we want you to be like Boston Rob, but make it further." And I'm like, "All right, I'm pretty sure I can do that." So I got all the way to Amazon, which was the season right before mine, and Rob Cisternino jumped from Alliance to Alliance Without Consequence. So I was like, all right, here's the blueprint. Because I was just like, I don't want to be nice. It seems like you have to be nice. And he showed me that you didn't. So because you can't be who you're not out there, it just doesn't work. So I've seen people try, like, for a day and a half, it's just like, this person's kind of okay, but something's a little off. And then, day 2, day 3 is like, oh, they're an asshole. Let's get rid of them.
So I like that it seems like you did your homework. You prepared for the show.
I'm the most prepared player in the history of the
Yeah,
show.
so
And
I
I've
wanted to
never
ask
seen
you
it 2
about the
weeks
fact
prior.
that a lot of reality show stars now, they don't even prepare. They just show up to collect their weekly stipend or whatever. Why do you
Yeah.
think? Is that because of social media? They're getting recruited now. I mean, you got recruited too, but you were still going to win. People don't really show
No,
up to
they're
win anymore.
just laziness. I mean, like Jax did House of Villains with me, and
Yeah.
and we're sitting there talking, and Jax was like, "Yeah, my manager said I needed to watch a season of Survivor and a season of Big Brother," and he was like, and I didn't do either. And so then my manager was just like, "Just watch one episode of Survivor and one episode of Big Brother." He goes, "I didn't do that either," and he goes, "I feel like I should have just watched a commercial for one of them and I would have done okay." He didn't even do that.
Lazy.
So we're on House of Villains. When they pick the town car picked me up from the airport, and he was just like, he's like, "Oh my God, they've had me going back and forth all day. Are you guys doing some kind of reunion special or something?" I'm like, yeah. I was like, "Did everyone? Do you have the list?" And he was like, "Yeah," and he handed me the list. And so I'm like, "Oh, Bobby Lights, okay." So so we had 3 days before we filmed. So I'm just on YouTube looking up everything I can about these people. So I went in knowing everyone, who they were, their weaknesses, because like House of Villains, it's kind of a vanity deal. And it's just like, "Oh my God, your Instagram is so amazing. Oh, I love the reel that you did 2 weeks ago. Oh, you have so many followers." That's all they want to hear. So like Tyson called me before season 3 of House of Villains, and I'm just like, just talk about their fucking social media. So they live in their own world. They have no idea who you are. They do not care. They will not look it up.
Yeah.
At what point did you realize, when you were on the show, that you were creating a character, right, bigger than the show itself, or something
J.
that was
Dot.
going? And then the dead grandma moment, right? It's infamous. Like, did you
Yeah.
realize in the moment while you were on the show, like, did you have this self-awareness, like, oh, I'm creating, at the time, reality TV history as it was happening? Because we're still talking about the stuff that you did now, 20 plus years later.
No, J. Dot. I mean, I'm literally sitting there. My first confessional, I go by the moniker of Jonny Fairplay. I don't play fair. In the history of reality television, not just Survivor, just in reality TV as a medium, uh, no one wanted to be the bad guy or saw themselves as a bad guy. Hatch doesn't think he's a bad guy. Jerry Manthe thinks she got a bad edit. No one considered themselves the bad guy. And I went out like, I want to be the biggest bad guy in the history of reality television. And production's literally masturbating. They're like, "Oh my God, this kid said he wants to be the bad guy." So once I say that, they're on board. I'm like, okay, if I'm the Joker, who's Batman?
Right.
If I'm Roddy Piper, who's Hulk Hogan? And Rupert was my Hulk Hogan.
Very, very good stuff there, Joe. And
Right.
that's kind of how
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
But here's the crazy thing about that. As it's happening, like Rupert was an asshole. Like Rupert would wake up in the morning, he'd grab he was like, "No one does anything. I'm going fishing, blah, blah, blah." He had zero social skills. He'd be gone with that spear for 8 hours, come back with these aquarium-sized fish, and you get a soundbite of either Krista or Sandra going, oh my God, Rupert's the provider. Not really. So like Burton would go out for 10 minutes and bring back 10 pounds of fish. This guy's bringing back fucking aquarium fish. So the only person telling you, the viewer at home, that we loved Rupert was Rupert. Rupert said, I'm the provider. They love me. The only person telling you, the viewer, that they hated me was me. If these people hated me, I'm gone. They didn't. I was their fucking TV. I was entertainment. I'd lived in Los Angeles at that time for like 3 years. I'd worked for Roddy Piper. I had all these crazy stories. I was the entertainment.
Yeah. So how much of your strategy was gameplay versus just some good old fashioned pro wrestling psychology and those acting classes and learning from Roddy Piper, or was it really just all mixed together?
6'7". I mean, it was like literally, it was it was 50-50. Like, I mean, like the pro wrestling universe, whether it be, the independent level or all the way, to WWE or whatever, it's so, high school bullshit, and it was just that, I was, in high school, I was pretty small. I tried to make the tennis team. I didn't make it on the tennis team. And, fast forward to age 30, sure, I'm 5'8", 116 pounds, but my ego, and even more so my bravado, is 6'8", 320. And to this day, I have people that are fucking petrified of me, and it's insane. So because like I remember after my first season of Survivor, I'd gone to a WrestleMania in Seattle, and we're on the elevator. It's me and Thunder D, the guy who did the Grandma Lie with me, and Rey Mysterio and Domink. Domink was like little Dom. He was like 8 years old or whatever. And Ray goes, you see that guy right there? He's pointing at me, and Domink looks up. He goes, yeah. He goes, that's a real life bad guy. And Domink takes a step back.
Oh my, Dirty Dom.
I was going to say
Fairplay.
Dominic Mysterio very clearly took pointers from you, Johnny. What do you think?
He's inspired by Jonny Fairplay.
How insane is that Dominic Mysterio took a fucking step back? So because Dom knew the bit, he's just like, oh, this bullshit wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
But that's a real life bad guy. Like, fuck. Like, this is real.
So you get off the show the first time. Really no social media then, but how different was your life? I'm sure everybody was recognizing you because Survivor was huge back then. And were you like the real world guys getting booked for all these club appearances and all these signings? And how did life change initially?
So after starting with my first season of Survivor, my name was in print every single week for 18 months without skipping a single week. 18, that's insanity. Yeah. So, whether it be People Magazine, Star, Us Weekly, whatever, every single week my name was in print. Mad Magazine twice. Just fucking nuts. So that was crazy. I was doing right out of Survivor, I was doing I was pretty much gone every weekend, and it was $7,500 a pop just to go to a club and get nice. Like my rider was you had to have a bottle of Patron, a bottle of Grey Goose. I do not take pictures. I do not shake hands, and I go straight to VIP. And I was getting $7,500 a pop. So it was nuts.
Not bad at all. So you mentioned it before. You did House of Villains. They bring you back to TV finally. How much had the reality TV landscape shifted from when you're doing the origin of competition shows to now, where you did House of Villains, where everything's pretty oversaturated?
Well, on Survivor, like, when it's time for you to do a confessional, they're just like, hey, go do a and you're like, yes, sir. And, and you run like a little bitch. House of Villains, I'm sitting there, and like I remember, like, production came up to like New York and whoever, and and everyone's just sitting there rolling their joints, and they're like, "Hey, Tiffany, can you do a confessional?" And she was like, "All right, so here's how this is going down. I'm going to need another 5 minutes to finish rolling this joint, and then I'm going to smoke that joint. So that's going to be about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to grab a drink, and I'm going to show up and do it high with a little bit of a drunk buzz." I'm like, "Okay, it's about 25 minutes," and I'm just like, "Holy shit balls."
Wow.
This is fucking nuts. So like we would put in our order every morning. I got 2 cases of low carb IPAs, 2 bottles of Casamigos Reposada, and then Bobby was having weed delivered via Uber every day. It was nuts.
All right. Well, I guess
That's
it seems like they
incredible.
pay you guys pretty well on House of Villains.
And that was like on Survivor. So like we filmed in July of 2003, and then the episodes started airing that fall, and the finale was December. You don't get paid until the
December.
finale. Like the finale episode, they give you your money. House of Villains, like we're sitting there walking around and filming, and then like day 4, whatever, they're like, "Here's your check," and I'm like, "What's this?" And they're like, "That's for episode 1." And I'm like, "No fucking way." And they're like, "Oh yeah." And I was just like, "This rules."
Yeah. Well, I'm interested to see that with, for some reason, House of Villains is leaving TV. Next season's going to be on Peacock only. So we'll see if that
Yeah.
impacts it.
Starting Thursday night, they're doing the Traitors finale, the reunion special, and
Right
then
into
House of
House of
Villains is
Villains.
dropping the first 3 episodes
Yeah.
same night.
So what's interesting about House of Villains is it seems like the best player never wins because
Yeah,
they
Right.
kind of burn
they do not
everybody.
understand they do not understand the game in
Yeah.
any. It's just. Did you watch The Snake?
No. We're
The
No,
listening,
we
Snake.
did
listening,
not.
Frank.
Yeah, I was gonna say, listen and Frank were there at the Over the Edge Celebrity Weekend. We met them, we chatted them up, but no, we haven't watched it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't good. There was that Catherine chick. She was really good TV, and I think there was a guy named Jack. He was okay. No, like the whole gimmick was outwit, like it's a shady fucking game.
Yeah.
And then at the end it's just like, okay, well, you vote on who you want to get the money, and then it was a popularity contest. And I'm just like, that's not the fucking gimmick.
Right. I think Wes kind of got screwed because he did play a dirtiest game in comparison to Jesse and everything. But if you if everyone's taking things personally, if you get burned, then they're just gonna not vote for you. So it's kind of
They actually wanted me. The plan was for me to fly out for the finale and explain the game. It's just like, this isn't about, so
Yeah.
basically give like, similar speech that I gave like at
Right.
the final deal on season 1. And they had called, they had checked my availability and then like going into that final week, production was like, "I think they get it. I don't think we need like," and then they're like, "Fuck, they didn't."
Tiffany, I guess, is just going to win every season, so we'll see how this one turns out. But talking money wise, Jonny, obviously we talked at the top about maybe you going on Survivor in the future. Is there a scenario where you could see them lowballing you and you saying, "I'm not doing this"?
No.
Okay.
Why? So, I mean, I can tell you, not everyone got the same money on House of Villains, and I can tell you that I was tied with the people that got the most money.
Yeah, I mean, you in comparison to a guy like Bobby, who nobody knows, it makes a lot of sense. So,
No, Bobby Lights made who did the Super Bowl that year? The halftime. Rihanna paid Bobby $250,000 to make a 1-minute reel on his Instagram.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So Bobby left when he self evicted himself or whatever. That he had a gig with was it Zeus TV or whatever. He had a paid gig to go to a Lennox Lewis fight that was like $100,000. That's why he left.
Wow.
It wasn't because of the game.
Makes sense. Now,
Yeah. Here's the crazy thing about it. I'm just like, Bobby, what are you doing? Like, this is huge. And he was just like, I was like, this is fucking network television. He goes, no, I'm doing something for Zeus Network.
what?
And I'm just
That?
like, yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, NBC Universal, Zeus. And he goes, no, they're both networks. It's just a different network. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even, it was for Zeus Network's fucking Instagram. And I'm like, okay, all right. I can't.
Now, when it came to the Traitors, were you approached, recruited?
Not yet. I'm kind of shocked
I'm
because
I'm
surprised. With
I'm
all
very
the
shocked.
other Survivor people, like, Natalie's big on this season. Like, with Natalie, no disrespect, but like, I think you'd bring some more flair for the dramatic and drama to the show.
I thought she's been boring. I like
Exactly.
Natalie. I like
It
her as a
seems like
person.
they want chaos, but
I
controlled
want Mike.
chaos, and you can't
I
control
want
them.
Michael Rappaport back with Jonny Fairplay in the house together.
Oh my God, we would have been besties. So yeah, me and Michael have chatted throughout the season. Yeah, no, I don't know. I know they called Hatch
Oh,
for this past season just to check his availability. They called Russell Hantz to check his availability, and neither one went any further than that. So I don't know, and I do know, like, so the casting director that found me at that gas station, Len Spillman, she reached out to Traitors Casting on my behalf. She was just like, "Hey, in case you're wondering, Fairplay's great.
yeah.
You should." So she's put in a good word for me. So I do know that this season they did not want it to be a gamer show. They don't like that. They like
That's why they got all the gamers out quickly. They wanted all
they,
the housewives.
they like it. It is a NBCU
Yeah.
property.
That's why we'll probably get Mike White on the next season. That'll be the Survivor guy.
I don't think we are. So no, which got Johnny Bananas was supposed to be brought back for the season,
Oh,
and
really?
then last minute they're just like, we want less gamers.
Yeah.
So,
I think they gotta get some more TLC people on the show.
oh yeah, little people.
Little people,
Little people.
Uh,
the Johnsons. I think Cody Brown would be phenomenal TV. Big Ed,
I'll take Balin or what's her name?
Balin, yeah, Balin
Oh
out.
Balin.
yeah, Balin
That'd
out
that'd be
loud.
good TV. But like you
Yeah,
said, Johnny, it's an NBC Universal property, so that's
her
where they're gonna.
boyfriend's kind of a scumbag, right? Doesn't he kind of suck?
No, they're supposed to get married, right? So
Are they? Are
Are
they?
they?
I think but there's a good person, some good people out there that they can get.
Any dickhead that wants that girl to have kids right now, you're kind of a piece of shit. I mean, like, she can't even make pasta without exploding the kitchen. Let's not give her a hand.
Oh my God. All right, Johnny, you've very clearly embraced being the villain. It's the reason why the checks keep coming in.
Sure.
For you, it's natural. For not everybody, it's natural, right? So when it comes to the reality television, right, is being the villain more powerful than being the hero? And what do you think is easier? Because again, for you, it's being the villain, but what do you think comes easier for people?
Uh, just being who you are, I feel, is easier. So I mean, like, I think most people that know me would say I'm probably like one of the nicest people they've ever met. So like I go above and beyond for my friendships than most. So it's just, for me, I just I enjoy excuse me, I enjoy the character of being a bad guy. But if you go back and look at everything I've done, if I'm with you, I'm with you. And like if I had to pick a Marvel superhero to most compare myself to, it would be Loki. And look, like, he's mischievous, like, he'll kill a few people, but for the most part, he when it comes to his brother, he's 8 out of 10 times he's going to do the right thing. I mean, those are good numbers.
That's a great number. 80% is very good.
Yeah.
There's some gray area. It's not all black and white.
Yeah, but I feel like for most people, like if you want to be the good guy and you're not a bad guy or you're not a good guy, it's not going to work. I mean, like you need someone like me to make that, to stick that landing for you, I guess. So, but no, I think if you're out there long enough, the real you is going to come through no matter who it is. So, I mean, like, I feel that there's plenty of good guys that kind of like last season of Survivor, Joe and Eva. Like, we were force fed that Joe and Eva are the two nicest people on the planet. Everyone loves them. Just hand them the fucking $1 million. It's game, set, match. And then on the next to last episode, we get a little hint that maybe everyone doesn't love Joe and Eva. And then on the finale, it's just like, no one likes Joe and Eva.
Fair enough. So you talked about a lot of this already. So big wrestling fan, taught by Roddy Piper. You got the WrestleMania with Dirty Dom and Rey Mysterio at Safeco Field, which was an iconic entrance by Rey Mysterio, by the way. So when did you actually start training in wrestling, and how was it to start getting some bookings?
So when I was 4 years old, my dad used to take me to the Greensboro Coliseum, and he was like, root for the bad guys because the good guys are pussies. So that's where it started. And so growing up, like my favorites, like my favorite VHS tape that I owned was Roddy Piper's Greatest Hits. And back then, like, you just rented movies. I bought that. I think that was like $88.
Wow.
For that fucking video. So, and I watched it every day. I loved Ric Flair and I loved Roddy Piper. Those are my two go-tos. So, but I remember I was 17, maybe. I wrote a letter to Ivan Koloff and said I wanted to be a wrestler, and and that I was five whatever, 90 pounds, and he was like, it doesn't matter how big you are, if you have the heart, I can teach you, and the $2,500. Most importantly, the $2,500 I can teach you. And I was just like, I can snip out a con pretty quick, and I'm just like, this guy just wants my $2,500. Yeah. I can't be a wrestler. Like the correct response was, I can make you Jimmy Hart, or I can make you Bobby Heenan, or I can make you Jim Cornette. That was the correct response. Not, you're going to be the next Hulk Hogan, brother. I'm like, all right, stop it. You really want my $2,500? So I that was in high school, and then after college, I moved to Greensboro, North Carolina, and I saw a flyer. I was like, would you like to be a wrestler, manager, referee, or valet? Call this number. And so it was Ken Spence, I believe he was one of the assassins. I went to his training place, and it was a ring in a barn. There was holes in it. It was very unsafe, and literally every trainee there gave me their finisher. I left with a concussion, so they just beat the shit out of me, and I was like, maybe this isn't for me. And then the next week, I saw where there was this wrestling group called New Dimension Wrestling was wrestling at they had wrestling after a Greensboro Bats game. And so I went there and I talked to the promoter. I was just like, yeah, I'm like, I want to be a heel manager. And he was like, what's your name? I go, Jonny Fairplay. He goes, what's your gimmick? I don't play fair. He goes, I love it. And like, he was just like, like I was dressed better than any of the wrestlers. So he was just like, well, the kid looks the part. So I started doing shows with them, and Manny Fernandez, the Raging Bull, was training me, and was showing me how to take bumps and stuff, and working, helping me with the promos and stuff like that. And then I was managing Otto Schwanz and Nightstick Eddie Brown. I started the Fair Play Revolution, and we were feuding with. So Otto Schwanz became Bo Dupp. If you remember the Dupps, they had a cup of coffee in WWE. I managed them against this guy named Venom. He was the big good guy, and Venom later became Joey Abs in the Mean Street Posse.
Wow.
So I was doing that. I was making videos and stuff, and so I sent a video to WCW to be a manager. And the week I went down there to their offices in Atlanta was the week that they were purchased by Time Warner. And Bischoff was like, kid, you picked the wrong week to come here. He goes, we ain't hiring anybody. Actually, we're doing a lot of firing. So I was like, all right, well, nice meeting you. This was fun. So that was the beginning and end of that quest. And then fast forward, I do Survivor, and I it's like, what's Johnny's dream job? Is like pro wrestler. And so I got a call during that season. WB called. They offered me a 4-month deal. It was either going to be me versus the Divas at WrestleMania, and they were going to beat me up.
Oh yeah.
Or I was going to be revealed as Trisha's sleazy boyfriend in the whole Christian
era. That'd been awesome.
Yeah. And so they offered, I think it was $80,000 for 4 months, WrestleMania appearance. And they wanted me to sign over my name.
Oh, you can't do that.
And I was like, ooh. And then TNA called, and I got a 2-year deal, $300,000 a year, creative control, 1 bump a year. First bump wouldn't be for 6 months, blah, 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 blah. Kept my name, take my 5-star hotels, first-class airfare, insurance. I'm the first wrestler to ever get insurance. So I put that in my contract. They had to pay for my insurance, cell phone, everything. And so I get there, and Bob Ryder leaked out my contract the day before I got there. So everyone hated my guts. I mean, everyone. And so I'm just like, all right, well, this is going to suck. And so that first day, Jeff Jarrett's like, Fairplay, man, you ain't going to believe this. Access Hollywood's here, Inside Edition, Entertainment Tonight. You got to take a bump. I was like, oh, but I thought I was only taking 1 bump a year. And the first bump wasn't going to be for 6 months. Because, yeah, but we didn't know that Access Hollywood, Entertainment Tonight was going to be here. So anyway, so I'm like, all right, what are we doing? And like, you're taking a spinning power bomb from AJ Styles. I'm like, all right, well, here we go. So I call my manager, and she's like, absolutely not. I'm just like, look, everyone here hates me. I don't have a choice. This is going to be the longest 2 years of my life. So anyway, so we're practicing, and so we're in the ring. It's me, AJ, Jeff, and Don Callis. And so I grab the chair, and I go to hit AJ. And Don Callis goes, this fucking guy doesn't even know how to hold a chair. And Jeff's looking at me, and I look at Don. I go, this fucking guy ain't supposed to know how to hold a chair. I'm a fucking outsider. I can do it fucking perfect. I shouldn't. And Jeff goes, kid's got a point.
Yeah.
Psychology.
So, me and Don still hates my guts. So anyway, so we do the deal, and they're like, "Do you want to?"
So you're not going to be the Don Callis family anytime soon.
Well, they're low on members. They're
always low on members. A lot of shuffling in and out with that group.
Yeah. So anyway, so they're like, "Do you want to practice the power?" I'm like, "We're doing it one time, and that's live." So anyway, so AJ stiffed me on the power bomb on purpose. And I got a concussion. But and so then when I get to the back, Terry Funk's in the back, and he goes, this little guy right here sold more on that power bomb than any of you fuckers did. Oh, goddamn not. So it's like, Terry, you're not helping. So, but I did feel like I earned my stripes that night. They're just like, well, fuck, this kid's going to come in, take a spinning power bomb, and AJ's going to concuss him. We're good. So I show up the next week, and they're just like, yeah, you're going to take the Styles Clash. And I'm like,
non-stop with the bumps. The original Ellsworth right here.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So they, AJ was pretty cool. 'Cause I feel like I'd earned his respect by, by selling for him, doing what I was supposed to do, and taking my licks. And so like all day long, like he had to have said it at least 100 times, maybe 200 times. He was just like, do not tuck your chin, do not tuck your chin, do not tuck your chin, because instinctually that's what you do when you
Right.
take 99.9%
But
of bump.
you're going
You,
face first on this one, on
you,
the
you tuck
side.
your chin. If you one person took their chin and broke their neck. So the styles clash is the opposite of every bump. Hold on, let me let the cat out here. Get out of here, Jimmy. You want to say hey? There's Jimmy the cat. He's great. All right, go kill something.
Go kill something and bring it back as a gift for the show.
He brought back 2 mice yesterday.
That's what they do. They're cats.
One mouse head, and then 1 full mouse. So it's great. I'm very proud of him. He's good.
So, Johnny, we first met you again a couple months ago over the edge, did a celebrity weekend in Celebration, Florida. You wrestled there as Cruiserweight champion for Boca Raton Championship Wrestling.
I did.
And we had an amazing setup where the ring was, there's the belt. We love the belt. I got to hold the belt.
Yes,
And
19.5 pounds.
19.5 pounds, deceptively heavy for somebody who's never carried a wrestling belt before. But again, they set up the ring. You got to perform in front of everybody there. And again, it was maybe just a couple of hundred people.
And he got to cool off with a little dip in the pool.
That's right.
Him and Paulie Calafiore went for a little swim.
That's right. You did an amazing spot. The whole segment and match you did was amazing. Everybody was very into the idea of booing the hell out of you, right? So it doesn't matter if you're in front of a crowd of 10 people, 100 people, 1,000, 10,000 people. There's this thing that lives inside of people who love pro wrestling. They get the itch. They want to perform in crowds. So after all these years, what keeps that itch for you to just get in the ring, to perform in front of these crowds and give the best show possible?
Ooh. I just like doing what I feel I'm very good at what I do. And that Over the Edge was probably one of the most special wrestling performances that I've ever had, because I would say, like, as you mentioned, there's probably like 200 people out there. I would say 90% of them are my friends. In that 90%, some of my best friends on the planet. And I'm just like, okay, do I have to have the talk with them? Because like, they're my friends, but I'm a bad guy. So it's like, I think they can figure it out that they need to boo me. Like if you cheer for me, you're gonna fuck this up. This is garbage. So and I'm just like, okay, do I need to tell them? And I'm just like, well, maybe they'll figure it out. And I'm like, oh, my friends aren't that smart. I'm like, we're gonna see. I was like, maybe this shit goes sideways. Like in one, like I walk out, it's like, yay! I'm like, oh god, holy shit balls. I don't know if any of them are my fucking friends. I walked in, that curtain opened, and it was fuck you, kill him, put him in a body bag. Like all of them. Like we're all in unison. So I was like, all right, they get it. Or I literally do not have a single friend.
Yeah. Well, how easy was it for you to cut that promo on all the other reality stars? You taking shots at the challenge, Big Brother, they're all ringside.
Paulie and his girlfriend. No, I love shit talking. I mean, yeah, I was given the gift of gab, and it's just fun. I would like to think they know that it comes from a good place. It is all said in jest and with love, and maybe something for them to think about.
Very nice. And what's with the commissioners booking you in a cruiserweight match against Bull? I mean, that's some bull right
Yeah. Brutus the Barber Beefcake. What an asshole. So, it's so my fiance. She watches wrestling peripherally.
there.
She is not a fan. She doesn't she doesn't like it. So but she jokes that like I'll be like, babe. She's like, let me tell you something, brother. So she just thinks that's the funniest thing in the world. Let me tell you something, brother. So we had gone the last show in Boca. We had gone out to dinner the night before, and we're talking with Brutus, and he goes, "Let me tell you something, brother." She's like, "Oh my God, they really say it."
Yeah.
Like, "Ew." She was like, just like she goes, but it's like he's just saying it like normally, not let me tell you something, brother.
Ah, very nice.
So yes, it is true. Every wrestler says, let me tell you something, brother, like 8 times a day.
Yeah. So Johnny, in your life, your career, reality TV, wrestling, whatever, what has been your you know I'm right moment? So what I mean by that, it's a time or place you wanted to pursue something. You asked somebody for advice. They said, bad idea, not going to work out, don't do it. And you said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. And in the end, you will see why it is that I'm right about this. And I can tell you, I told you so.
Um, Probably celebrity bull riding.
Hmm. All right.
Yeah, I got the call where I think I have where's the gimmick.
Is there anything Johnny hasn't done,
Yeah,
Jim?
I was gonna say, is there anything you haven't done? Is there anything you don't have over there? You had the title belt, you got a
No,
plush
no.
doll on the couch, you had your cat. Now you're looking for something for the from the bull
Looks like
riding.
some pinball in the background, right?
Right.
I have three pinballs. I have Iron Maiden, Uncanny X-Men, and Avengers. Hold on, I think I have
Amazing.
a four right here.
Now we're like doing an MTV Cribs episode here. Johnny walked.
Rest in peace, MTV. They ruined that network, right?
Joe, you shouldn't talk up. You might end up on that network one day.
Maybe. Who knows?
It's
You could
here. You want?
you could be the next big heel or something, Joe.
I
But
was gonna say I gotta take advice from Johnny, where you're the good guy and everybody loves you in real life, but once the cameras start rolling, you are the best of the bad. Oh,
Here
look
we
at
go.
that.
So I rode 11 bulls. I got 8 for 8 seconds, and I won. I beat Vanilla Ice, Stephen Baldwin, Rocket Ishmael, Nitro from American Gladiators, Cowboy Kenny Bartram from Motocross
wow,
X
nice.
Games, Josh Haynes from The Ultimate Fighter, and Leif Garrett.
That's
But
incredible.
everyone else figured out on like the first buck, like when it go down, they figured out how to safely get off. I never figured that out. So I'm just like, well, if this shit ain't gonna work out, then I ain't in a hurry to hit the ground. So I'm like, let's just get 8 seconds. So I was hoping that 8 seconds they do the horn, that the bull would sit down. I would pet him on the head, and that never happened. So, yeah, we trained in Stephenville, Texas for I think 11 days, and then we went to Nashville for an actual PBR event. And I was the last one to go, and Rocket was supposed to win the show. Rocket Ishmael was better than any of us, and he shit the bed. And Ty is like, "Oh no!" So anyway, so everybody keeps going. I'm the last one, and Ty's like, damn it, Fairplay. If I could pick anyone, I mean, any fucking one else to fucking go, it would be them. He goes, you gotta get it. He goes, it's down to you. He goes, but I swear, if it could be anyone else, I wish it were. And I was like, thanks for the encouragement, Ty. And so anyway, I did it. I got 8.1 seconds, and I won the show. So.
Well, it's no surprise. You win at basically everything that you do, Johnny.
Well,
And
not Survivor, but we'll get
we'll
I'm
get
due
there.
for a win. I'm due for
You
a
are
win.
due for a win.
And for the record, I feel like I've had many survivors come to my house. Like Wendell is a good friend of mine, and when Wendell came here the first time, he was like, "Dude, you won Survivor," and I'm like, "I feel like I did too." So yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that assessment. I think that's pretty accurate. And considering the name of the show is You Know I'm Right, usually when Nick and I say something like that out loud, we are indeed right. So, Johnny, we again, we're in New York, you're in Arizona. So we appreciate the
He's going to
fact
be in Arizona for
he's
It's
going
got
to
to
be
be
in
in Arizona.
Arizona.
I'm in North Carolina at this moment.
Okay.
So, on the Virginia border, across the street.
We appreciate the fact that you got up early and you did this with us. We really, really
Oh yeah,
appreciate it. This was
I saw a
excellent.
Beastie Boys cover band last night, and I am fucking hungover as all get out. And my alarm went off, and I'm just like, what do I have an alarm on for? And then thank God you guys met. It's just like, hey,
Thankfully, I sent you a little text as a reminder.
I was just like, oh yeah, that's what the alarm was set for. I didn't even know what planet I was on when that alarm went off. So yeah, I had some really expensive bourbon last night, and then we were drinking absinthe. So but all necessary for a fake Beastie Boys concert.
That's right.
Yes. But yeah,
That's
but
right.
see me on tour, everybody. Go to survivortix.com. That's survivortix.com. We're going to be Virginia, Rhode Island, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, you name it. We're there. Survivortix.com. Me and Richard Hatch. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Well, Joe, we usually give our guests the last words, but I think Johnny kind of summed it up. Get the shirts.
Yeah.
Get
a shirt.
Buy the shirts, buy the merch, follow him on social media, follow what he's doing. Johnny, one more time, thank you, and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Johnny, thanks for the time. We really appreciate that. This episode has been a lot of fun, and that's going to do it here for this episode of You Know I'm Right. Just remember this, everybody out there. When you think of Survivor, you never think of the winners. You think about the bigger than life stars. I couldn't even name a Survivor winner. So there you go. That's going to do it here for this episode.
Me neither.
Of You Know I'm Right. For our very special guest, Jonny Fairplay, future member of the Don Callis family on AEW, and my co-host Joe Calabrese, who could also be in the Don Callis family.
Oh,
I'm Nick Durst, and this has been You Know I'm Right.